Hello everybody, this is Rahsidap. I'm with Brocrafting. We're playing Age of Engineering. NYCCooper is not with us today. It is 6 a.m. and he's asleep right now. Haven't been able to record a lot of videos recently, so if you're watching us in real time, which I seriously doubt because we have like no subscribers, um, then you'll have seen a several week gap in our videos. Episode 7 is being processed right now, not uploaded. So if you see episode 7, it's been a while since I recorded this. This is episode 8 of Age of Engineering. And today we're going to enter age 2, calculation age. So we've been doing some industrial age stuff. We made the blast furnace from IC2. We also got the blast furnace from Immersive Engineering done last episode. So if you haven't seen that yet, go back and watch it. We put that guy right over here. It's a lot more efficient than this guy. And it is automatable. We haven't done so yet. I did need 2 of these for something I'm doing over here. So yeah, so today we're going to get into the calculation age. Before we do that, you'll see my to-do list here. We need to make a survival generator. We'll need to make a power cube, and then we will make the calculator and enter into the new age. So let's get started with that. So I've got all the things that I need. Actually, let me go clear out my inventory real quick. So we're going to make the survival generator because right now that is the only way. Well, I say this is the only way. It's not the only way. It's the best way to generate power because it requires no hands-on maintenance. The other 2 power options we have both require you to stand there and do things. And we're not going to do that. So you'll see the survival generator is just steel mechanical component, a furnace, some redstone, and some cobblestone. So we're going to grab everything we need. Let's get some stuff out of the way here. So we're going to make a furnace. Make our steel component. And then we'll make this guy. Alright, and so I cleared out some space over here. We'll set her up. Got something to burn in it. Go ahead and get it started burning. It's got a small internal buffer. It's not real large. But while that's doing that, we'll make the power cube real quick. And then we can take some of that power that it's generating and put it into the power cube so we're not wasting coal. So this also is a pretty easy recipe. Just some cobblestone, redstone block, and some compressed coal balls. So the compressed coal balls are coal dust, which you have to macerate, plus 2 flint to get the coal balls. And then you have to come over here to our compressor. Throw the guys in there, and they will make the compressed coal balls. This is not dissimilar from another item that we're going to need that also uses coal dust. But instead of making it into a hollow block to make the coal ball, you put it in a 2x2 square to make a thing that I don't recall the name of. But I will actually use that in the recipe here in a little bit, depending on how far we get today. So grab my 2 compressed coal balls. Make my redstone block. And there we are. Now this guy has inputs and outputs. I think you can just set it right here. Yep, there we go. And it's done. So we're cranking out close to 10 kilo RF. it's only about what, a third of the way through? Quarter of the way? No, 14% through. It says it right there. So now that we've got that running, the reason we had to do that first is because when we get the calculator made, we're going to have to put it over here and charge it in this block here. The downside of the power cube is it cannot distribute power. It can only hold power for charging. So once we get the calculator, we're going to have to create some power generation that we can distribute, and we do that with the cold generator, and then we'll get on the atomic reconstructor, which is the big part of age 2. Start doing some cool things with that. This is where we start getting into some pretty heavy power usage. So, but first things first. Calculator. There's several versions of the calculator. You'll see the info calculator. This is the book, basically. So you make this guy, and that tells you all the recipes, gives you some information. This is the thing that actually triggers the age. It's relatively simple. And then there's a crafting calculator, scientific calculator, and the flawless calculator. Now each of these three, the scientific, the crafting, and the regular, each do different things. They allow you to make different items. The flawless calculator is actually a combination of these three. So when you get to where you can make this guy, which you can see is fairly spendy, you can reduce your carrying around 3 calculators to just having 1. And we're nowhere near that. So first off, let's make our glass, our screen, calculator screen. And then we've got to make another mechanical steel component. I've got to make some buttons. So I have everything I need. So we need 6 buttons total. 2 for that guy. And then 4 for the piece. And there we have it. So for crafting recipes that trigger ages, crafting them doesn't trigger it. You have to throw it down and pick it up. Hooray! That should have worked. Unless we've already done this. Surely we haven't. Surely. But I'm not seeing where... That's not what I wanted. Could we have possibly... Did I forget that we did the calculator? Certainly not. Because we would have had the trophy. We got that trophy, and that's the only trophy we have, I thought. So I'm confused. I don't know why that didn't trigger age 2. But nonetheless, we're going to now use this calculator to create some new things. Specifically, what we have to have is reinforced stone. And that comes from cobblestone and wood. Now there's actually 2 recipes. There's a 4x recipe. Oh, forgot to charge my calculator. I think it's 1000 RF. We will see momentarily. Yep. Okay. So a 1-for-1 recipe is wood planks, and that gives you reinforced stone. But you can do a compressed version with a log. It still only takes 1 cobblestone, so you're actually saving cobblestone. Not that it's not plentiful, but just in case you want to do less recipes. A log with 1 gives you 4. We actually need 6, so that's why I did this. And there we go. And so that's the part of the recipe that we need the calculator for. The rest of the cold generator is just stuff we can already do. Oops. So we need the reinforced stone, we need the coal coke. That's why I had to go pick up the 2 coal coke. And then we need the iron casing, which is advanced machine block, which is a basic machine casing. So we get one of those. By the way, you cannot do the Tech Reborn version yet because it requires a H10 machine block, which we can't do yet. So you have to use the Industrial Craft version. So there's that. And then what am I missing? That. And then now we have that. I have 2 extra iron plates. I'm not sure where I miscalculated that. So we'll put this guy over here. Get it started on some coal. Now we will be making some capacitors with Ender IO at some point in the very near future, but before that we have to get a thermionic fabricator because it does have the electron tube requirements, and the thermionic fabricator requires the sturdy casing, which is H4. We're not to that yet. But in addition to that, we have to get the atomic reconstructor and the empowerer because this requires Rhostonia crystals, which take the atomic reconstructor, but they have to be empowered, which takes the empowerer, which is actually the next age, age 3. So we'll be doing that relatively shortly. The enriched gold, we'll need to make an alloy smelter for. We're actually about to make some of this because that's in our next recipe. So we've got a coal generator going. Now the atomic reconstructor. This one's a little more complicated, not a whole lot. The stone is for a button. The redstone torch is how we control the atomic reconstructor. As you'll see in just a minute. So let's get all this stuff and let's go make some things. Alright, so the atomic reconstructor actually takes a pretty good bit of power. Every time you hit the button, it's 1000 RF. In addition to that base 1000 cost, what you're transforming, or reconstructing if you would, takes RF per operation. So if you throw a stack of 64 iron down there and try to turn it into a nori crystal, it's going to do 64 times whatever the cost of transferring 1 ingot, reconstructing 1 ingot into an nori crystal, plus the 1000. So it can get spendy. So you have to have some power. It's going to very quickly. We're going to have to increase our power output. We'll probably do that next episode. Spend that episode doing power. First thing we need is the enriched gold, which again is a calculator recipe, which again I have pre-staged for these purposes. So gold and the redstone crystal give you 4. It's exactly what we need. We also need reinforced iron, which takes reinforced stone, which we discovered takes cobblestone and wood, which I actually happen to have both of those. So we need that, and then we need half of these. We need another iron casing, which is another machine casing, which is another basic casing. I just did that. What do I need? Oh, okay. So this is the other thing I was talking about, the carbon plate. That's what we need. So it takes a raw carbon mesh, which takes raw carbon fibers, which takes the carbon dust and a 2x2. So to get 2 of those, you need 16. To get 4 of these, to get 2 of these, and then we will compress those along with. That's not the compressor. We have to make our advanced alloy, which requires us to do 3 iron plates, 3 bronze plates, and 3 tin plates. I didn't do those in order. There we go. These also have to be compressed. So grab our carbon plates. Press these guys to give us the advanced alloy. Alright, what else do we got to do here? That should be it. I should have everything else I need. I've got the steel plates. So as soon as these guys finish compressing, I can get the machine casing done. And there we go. Alright. So that guy is done. That guy is done. And now that guy is done. So, I guess we put him right here. I think, yes. So this is your lens. This is where the deal comes out. And right now, which is why we had to make the redstone torch, you'll notice that when it hits 1,000, or when it hits a certain amount, it automatically pumps out. So you change that is you right click. Now it's on. See, the redstone mode is pulse. So what we do with this, create a button, put the button on the machine, and so now every time you press it, activate the button, it shoots a deal. So what can we do with this guy? Well, one of the things we can do with this guy is turn things into other things. So we'll take 8. 8's a good number. 8 iron, 8 iron. I am going to put a block down here because this that beam will go until it stops. It was about right here that it ended. But if you happen to have it pointed towards structures and it goes off, it will everything in its path until it hits a block. So we're going to do here. Notice it hits blocks. Now we have 8 Inori crystals. The other thing that we do a lot of is going to be from redstone. So we're going to get 8 redstone. And then one other thing that we do a fair amount of is lapis. Throw lapis in here and it makes a thing. This makes the Restonia. Now, if you do blocks of these at a time, it will do the whole block. I guess it would have made sense for me to do 9 so I can show you. So you can do 9 ingots and get 9 Inori crystals, or you can do a single iron block and you will get the Inori block, crystal block. And it takes less energy. So it will still cost you the 1,000 pulse cost, but then the block, if I'm not mistaken, the block is less than 9 individual ingots. Same thing with redstone. Same thing with lapis. You can do whole blocks versions of them. So with that, we are finished with my to-do list. That didn't take nearly as long as I thought it would, but we are going to look at making some cables. So Immersive Engineering has cables. This is not what I wanted. Wire. Wire is what I want. Has these wire coils, low voltage, medium voltage, high voltage, and redstone wire. This is solely for transmitting redstone, as you can see. These are what we do for power transmission. In addition to the coils, you have to have the relays and or the connectors. The connectors transfer from a machine to wire or vice versa. The relays are to connect two wires together. The wires obviously have a distance maximum, so if you need to travel farther than that maximum wire distance, you put a relay in, connect two wires together, or you can have a single machine producing power into a relay, and then using that relay to split that power off to other machines. But a wire to wire uses the relay, a wire to machine uses a connector. And you have to use the connector that's associated with the wire type. So you have low voltage here, you have to have low voltage. Medium voltage, you have to use the medium voltage relays and connectors. So to make the wire coil, you need copper wire, which is just shears or wire cutters with a copper plate, or you can build a metal press and just stamp them directly. Which actually we'll get into a metal press not too terribly long from now. Once we start getting some power generation up, I'll go ahead and make a metal press. There's a couple other immersive engineering machines that we'll make. The water wheel is one of them. That's a fairly good passive generation once you have it set up. It does pretty good. In addition to some additional solar panel types, I think Solar Reborn, I think is the next version we have. The one we have now is from Compact Solar Arrays. Solar Reborn has a tiered solar array set, as you can see here. Starts with one, and this is the one that we'll be able to do as soon as we get what we needed. Oh yeah, right. The atomic reconstructor is all we need. So create that with just coal, so we can actually make that now, but I'm not going to. But you got solar panel 1, and then 2, 3, 4, and they're all multiples of, as you can see. And, they each give you more and more capacity and generation and so forth. So we'll start looking at that for more passive generation soon. What was I going to do? Oh yeah, so I got to make some shears. Changed a lot of the recipes. I can make these out of iron, yes. As you can see, we did some resource collection. Well, I did some resource collection. NYCCooper has been out of pocket. He's trying to start a business, so he's busy, to say the least. What is his business, you may ask? It's beer. If you haven't been able to tell from our previous episodes, we like the brew, and NYCCooper is actually starting a brewery. He's been brewing his own beer for a while. When he was NYCCooper and not MS Cooper, he was brewing at his house or his apartment in Brooklyn, and now he has brewed a couple batches here in his new place where we live, and soon be doing it professionally out of a building that he's bought and is remodeling. It's all good times, and soon we'll be drinking not bought beer. One more. But because of that endeavor that he's undertaken, he's not with us very much anymore. So it's just going to be you and me this time. Hopefully we can get him back on soonish. And it will truly be Brocrafting again. I need a stick. I know I'm wasting time going back and forth doing all of these individually, but hardened clay. That was the other thing we need. So one of the things I'm looking at is the Mengali tree. I forgot what it was called. Mandarin tree. It's integrated dynamics. So mineral. That's what it's called. Mineral basics, mineral trees. I thought they had a picture of them in here. I guess they don't. Anyway, it's the blue trees. I'll just show you one. So in our mining dimension, you can randomly find these mineral trees on the surface, and I found one. I went and plucked it, and here, got some saplings from it and replanted more. So there's the saplings planted. They haven't grown yet, but those guys give you some mineral shards. One of the things you can do with those shards is build a drying basin, and that's the it's kind of like the basic machine, that and the press for the mineral mod pack, the integrated dynamics mod pack. But in addition to the mineral integrated dynamics items, that drying basin also allows you to turn clay blocks, which are here, yes, into hardened clay directly. An alternative to that is getting rid of all this iron in here because it's in the way. An alternative to that is smelting some iron, some clay blocks, and then pouring them into casting basins, which turn them into hardened clay. I want to say there's one other fairly easy way to do it, but off the top of my head, I can't think of what that is. See, there's your drying basin. Smelting. You just smelt it in an alloy smelter. Or smelting it in a furnace. But that's slow. It's not exactly a speedy process itself, but, you know, whatever. So we got 9 blocks. As soon as this clears out, we'll get rid of it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Six, 7, 8, 9. Alright, we'll let those cook. I've got what I need. Wire. Nope, if I could spell. So I need a connector. I need some Rostonia, some hardened clay, and some copper. So take a stack of you. I already have the Rostonia. Got the hardened clay now. So let's make a connector. You get 2 per crafting recipes, and this one is just hardened clay and the copper. A little bit cheaper. Come on. We're going to need a pretty good bit of that, so probably go ahead and throw the rest of this in there. And walk away. So relay, boom. So just to show you this, take our reconstructor here, put it on this side, go to the button, we're going to use our connector, put it there, take our wire, I did that poorly. Let's move this one more. That way we can have some symmetry. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. There we go. That's better. Need that guy here. Put this guy here. We'll go there. You'll notice that I clicked and it stored it, and I did a bunch of stuff and it still had it stored. That's cool. So we have 38960. Now it's connected up. Put a piece of coal in here. Boom. Should. Yeah. 30. Yep, there you go. So this is how you connect up power using the immersive engineering mod. Like I said before, this guy, all it can do is accept. So it's pretty useless at this point. That's full. That's full. I don't know when we get into the later ages how often we're going to be using the calculator, or what else we'll be needing a power cube to charge things with. It may come in handy, but I don't see us using this a lot. I imagine, if I had to guess, we could probably put our survival generator in on the game. We can give that a go here. Yeah, outstanding. So, while the survival generator is not going to be of much use to us here, and that's still cooking. That's pretty awesome. So yeah, when it gets full, it stops cooking. That's pretty good stuff. Either that or it's just been cooking this whole time and we've been wasting power. Either way, not going to be using the power cube a whole lot. Use it a little bit, not much. Survival generator is just a little extra. This will be a good store, and then we'll hook up the Empower. We'll get that going. So let's see here. So we're in the calculation age. Did the atomic reconstructor. So we'll look up some progressive automation for some storage. We are going to do the kinetic dynamos for the water wheels. Not sure about the windmills. I'm not real excited about those. I've messed with them a little bit. Not real great. Capacitors are going to be something in age 4. And I've already talked about the solar panels, so yeah, that's pretty much it. Next, we're going to get the Empower age. This is a little bit more spendy because you need the Empower, but you also need 5 display stands, because in order to make the Empower work, which needs a display stand just to craft, it also needs 4 additional display stands as part of its setup. This doesn't show it, does it? Yeah, maybe it does. Set up. Yeah, there we go. So you have the Empower here, and then you have got to have 4 display stands, 2 blocks separating it, and all 4 of these display stands require power, and I think they each hold 400,000 or 200,000 RF. Some of the things we make are going to take every one of those RF units to make a single item. 800 RF. We got something coming up here not too terribly long from now that takes 4 million RF to make, which is really good stuff. It takes a while, which is why we got to get our power generation up and running, because we will be sucking down some power here pretty quickly. But with that, it looks like I'm out of things to do this morning. So we're going to wrap up the episode. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you later.